Welcome to our program on Kardec Radio.
Feiete, good night. I hope you are okay. Today it's 2nd of June, mid of the year, and it's a pleasure to be here with my friends from UK, France, and Lithuania. And today we're talking about one important topic. It's affecting everyone in the world, which is a loss of loved ones. So stay tuned and let's see what we can bring to this discussion today. Elsa?
Yes, I was forgetting my hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. From my heart, a big kiss to everyone, a big hug, because we must need this big hug right now. And it's a pleasure once again to be here with my dear friends Nadja from Lithuania, Charles Kempf from France, and Stevan from Ireland. And together we will talk with you all and reflect in this wonderful and different topic, how to deal with losses during the pandemic and prevent sufferings. We can help each other. We have faith, courage, and hope. And we can discuss during this 1 hour, and we will see how the things are going. Your questions will be welcome and help us as well, praying for the ones that are departing. Thank you.
Labą dieną, labas vakaras visiems. Ačiū, kad jūs prisijungėte čia prie mūsų video. Šiandien pakalbėsime apie kančias, apie kas būna šiuo metu dėl pandemijos situacijos. Tai tikiuosi, kad jums bus naudinga ir pakalbėsime dar truputėlį apie dvasingumą ir spiritismą. Hello, everybody. We're talking about spirituality and the sufferings, especially now in the pandemics. Thank you very much for for joining us, for being here with us, and hope you enjoy. Thank you.
Bonjour, bonsoir à tous. Merci de nous accompagner. Donc aujourd'hui encore sur un sujet qui est d'actualité. Donc avec cette pandémie et puis toutes ces personnes qui retournent dans la patrie spirituelle. Donc on va essayer de vous apporter des éléments, des ressources pour pouvoir y faire face, puisque ça a touché énormément de personnes dans le monde. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening for everyone. Happy to be here again with you for this important theme about pandemic, where a lot of people are returning to the spiritual world. And let's see if we can bring to you, a lot of people suffering, the resources necessary to understand it and to overcome this trial. Thanks a lot for your attention.
Wow, good. Thank you very much, Charles, Nadja, and Elsa. Thank you. And as always, we will start with a short video from our friends from Spiritist Academy. So I hope you enjoy, and we come back. Let me share my screen here.
The best way for us who lose someone through death is to send our love. And the way we send our love, for many of us, is to pray. I often like the idea of thinking of that person who has departed as like someone who traveled far from you. So let's pretend your child upon let's say graduating from high school and before going to college, your child, maybe 18, 19, has a possibility of a great adventure, going far, far away, maybe back in Europe in a train. And you still have a relationship with your child. You can call your child, right? You can send an email or text. You can stay connected even though you're not physically close to him or her. And you actually want your child to have a great experience. So the best way to really cultivate that relationship with those of us that have family members and dear friends who have deceased, have departed, is to think that you're actually writing a letter, writing an email, sending a text, talking on the phone. That person will receive your vibrations of love, your thoughts, your ideas, and your love as well. So it's a great way to understand that that relationship continues on.
Okay. Well, first we start here. I want to say hello to our friends in Canada, our friends in Portugal, in Germany, Munich, friends from Brazil as well. So thank you very much for your presence with us. And just before we start to one second, because things start to move here. Okay, so what I want to discuss with you before give this get the opinion from our friends here. Some concepts we need to make clear here, because if you don't know, I can let you know you're gonna die. So born and death is a natural phenomenon. So it's gonna happen. So at the right moment, someone is born and someone is dying. And this reminds me what we have on the Kardec's tomb in the cemetery of Père Lachaise. It's written to be born, to die, to be reborn. That is the law. So being here on earth, it means we are in a mission, we are attached to material things because we need this body, we need the body in order to be here. That's the vehicle who allow us to be in this world, okay? And spiritism, what spiritism bring to us? Bring the communication, the existence of the spiritual world, how to communicate with them, saying to everyone, hey, this is not just the end, we have more ahead. So that's a brief but a very concise explanation in terms of what born, die, and what the role of the spiritism on this. Based on this, I'd like to ask to my friend in France, Charles, what is that, my friend?
Thank you, Stevan, for the question. Indeed, as you talked, death is a natural phenomenon like birth. Everyone, with no exception, rich, poor, South Hemisphere, North Hemisphere, whatever, one day or the other, sooner or later, will die, isn't it? It's some of the rare things of which we are 100% sure that it will happen one day, okay? So very clearly, it is of obviously of utmost importance to try to investigate a little bit and to understand about what will happen during this travel, because we have seen on the video, no? It's a little bit like a travel, no? When your son is going, moving, studying somewhere completely different, you have you are distant and so on. It was very well shown in the video. So the death is also a travel, but which is maybe a little bit further. In terms of distance, it's also a change in dimension, I would say so. We go back, we regress back from the physical world back to the spiritual world. So this is, of course, for the people who are following the spiritual paradigm, the people who are spiritualists, in other words, who believe that they have that there is something else than just a physical matter of the body. So, in other words, that we have a soul, and that this soul is surviving after death. For the people who are thinking, okay, when I die, I will be put in a box and then everything is finished. Of course, then they have to admit that at a given point in time, everything is finished. But again, the investigations and what we have shown already, the different arguments in the previous lives we have done in the same series, is clearly we have a soul. There are several evidences for that. The soul survives also to the bodily death. This is also for sure. And on top of this, as you have told at the beginning, Stevan, it reincarnates. Okay. So the question is, the death is when our physical body comes to a certain age, there is no vital fluid enough anymore, and simply the life is stopping. So everything which is living on Earth, on the planet, is dying. Plants, animals, and humans as well. And this is the law of nature, that this destruction of old bodies, worn out, and with a lot of physical problems and so on, at a given point in time, we are giving it back to Earth, and then we come back with in the body of a brand new baby, to make a new trial here on the Earth and to continue our evolution. Okay, so what is also very important to know is what is the state? What is the state of the soul after the death? So there is several ways to inquire this scientifically. So of course, there is a mediumistic communications. It's indeed a little bit more complicated than telephone, emails, or WhatsApp, or YouTube, or whatever we are using today. It would be good to be capable to communicate with the soul, so in the same way. We are not there yet, but what is sure, and what Léon Denis explains a lot, is the more we progress, the more this type of, communication between these disincarnated souls and incarnated souls will be, more stronger, and also easier for each of us. Unfortunately, we are in the matter focused on the day-by-day problems, and we are not deploying the spiritual antennas enough in order to perceive this by intuition, by inspiration, the influences of the souls of, in particular, of the beloved one. Because it's really like we have seen on the video, love, the real love is surviving to this separation and to this change of dimensions. And as soon as we pray or as we think in good of a beloved one which passed away, this communication will reach this soul, and depending on the situation of the soul, of course, can reach us back. So this is, a very, very strong argument, resource that Spiritism is bringing, showing all these evidences of the survival of the soul, and that even if we lose a beloved one, which is passing away, going back to the spiritual world, this relationship of love we have together will not stop because of this. At the opposite, it will continue, because sooner or later we will also pass away, and then maybe meet again in the spiritual world, and then maybe decide even to reincarnate in the same family, or to meet again in the next reincarnation. So this gives a huge strength in order to overcome such separation, which is always difficult. I told it, I think, one of the last times, at the beginning of the COVID, my mother passed away. So even being spiritist, mother is a mother. Losing a mother is not easy. I miss her a lot. But with these resources, I understand now she's free from her body, which was really not operating well anymore, with Alzheimer, huge dependencies, and so on. And now her soul is free. So this helps a lot. And sometimes I'm wondering, how do the person which are materialists do to overcome of such things? They are really making a kind of a self-hypnosis in order to try to forget and whatever, because as the end is the end and nothing beyond. In such a thought, it's much more difficult to overcome such type of situations. And today we are in the pandemic. The pandemic, you know, that there is also almost 4 million people in the world. More than 100,000 in France. A lot of people passed away. Much more than in a normal period. The over mortality is proven now through all the statistics. That 2020, you can see there is a big rise of mortality due to the COVID, clearly. So a lot of people are dying, more souls are discarnating, a lot of persons are falling into difficult situation, whether they are orphans, whether they are a widower or widow, whether they are losing also some how to say, their employment, or the work they had in order to overcome to the material needs from them and for their family. So it's really a lot of how to say, trials in a short time. And of course, it's also the right time to awake the consciousness and to inquire about this, as we are trying to explain today, what can be done to soften the pain of the physical separation. And of course, knowing also Spiritist teachings, Kardec, he wrote a wonderful book about this exact subject, what happens when we pass away. So it's Heaven and Hell, second part. And it's really extremely interesting, how to say, instructive. So you can see from that book that the situation of the soul in the spiritual world is depending mostly on the conscience. If we have a good conscience or a bad conscience, of course, good conscience is helping a lot in the spiritual world. And also whether we were attached, over-valorizing all what is material, like house, car, bank account, or whatever. These are also factors who are making the situation of the soul more difficult on the other side. But again, in the case of my mother, so with Alzheimer, she had time to, how to say, I'm looking now for the English word, désappegar, lâcher prise in French.
Detached.
Detached.
Yes, to detach from all these material things, because she lived during the war, the Second World War, and there was a lot of things, material things, missing during that period, and so she was really cautiously stocking and so on. And with this Alzheimer, simply, I saw her, okay, do you remember? Do you want to go back to see your house? No, I'm well here, and so on. So really, this detachment was clearly anticipated, and we see also here the usefulness of such trials that we do not always understand, because Alzheimer is quite difficult. And then I'm sure she just, when the time came, she just slept, I would say, slept in the spiritual world without trauma, without anything being received there by her father and the other beloved ones who were waiting for her there. So that's the spiritual view, the spiritist view, which is helping a lot to overcome this trial. Thank you for your attention. I hope I have answered the question.
Thank you, merci, my friend. Well, very good. So death is just an experience. And but when the death face loved ones, I know when death face ourselves it's okay. At the end, it's okay. But when face our loved ones, it's gonna hurt. And my friend Elsa, what is the loss of a loved one?
Stevan, as you may know, I am a widow. My husband departed 30 years ago. Thanks God that I found these teachings that help me to cope, really cope with my loss, in inverted commas. Now, if there is a cruel test, it is the loss of loved ones, for sure. It is when one after another we see them disappear, carried away by death, and that solicitude is made little by little around us. We are in the same big boat, praying for our boat go to straight and direct to the safe port. These successive departures from all those dear to us are just as many solemn warnings. They tear us out of our selfishness. They show us the childishness of our material concerns, earthly ambitions, and invite us to prepare for that incredible journey. This phrase is from Leon Denis in the book After Death. So we will, on a point or another, we will face the same situation, but we don't close our eyes. We have to see in advance that the things will happen, and we have to prepare ourselves and try to learn. And the Spiritist teachings is clear, teaching us that, as Charles mentioned, there is no death, only the physical body. One day we will meet again. I met my husband many times in our dreams, and he is beautiful, working hard, working day and night to help humanity right now in this situation. So the ones that are awake, as soon as they are in spiritual worlds, they are awake, they can help more than us here on earth. We can pray with our prayers. We can help with our prayers. We can share our good thoughts. We can help each other with conversations. And the ones that are in this situation now that don't know how to pray, or what to do, what you have to look for, please don't stay alone. There is a lot of places in the UK, groups that offer consolation. There is one that I like very much, one charity that is independentage.org. Independentage.org. That is really great. I enter and see what they offer. They offer everything, even to call you, to listen you when you lose someone that you love. So don't be shy. Looking for, because then the life goes on. There is no death. No one dies. Only the physical body. That is the beauty of the eternal life. The beauty of these teachings. That is complete teachings around life and death. So, my dear friends, we are here talking with something that people refuse sometimes to talk, that is death. But we will die, for sure. I don't know if tomorrow or after tomorrow, but the good thing is preparing ourselves with good thoughts, be gentle, be a good fellow, be a good husband, a good wife, because their life goes like that. So if you take only material things for your aim in your life, is not good for later on, because the materialist people really are suffering. When I think Shari said how the materialists, the atheists cope with death, for sure that they suffer. For sure they suffer. So I think this is something that we should take into our consideration. That is really, it is really almost unbearable to say goodbye to our beloved ones. This cause of sorrow affects both rich and poor, as Charlie said. Trial of or expiation, it is a universal law. Being able to communicate with your friends through the means available to you, however, constitutes a consolation, while waiting until you obtain other means that are more direct and accessible to your senses. The Spirit Book, question 934, Allan Kardec. That is a huge selection of questions and answers in giving us the strength and courage to face our challenges. I think that's it, Stevan.
Thank you, my dear. Yeah, it's tough, like according to our friend Leon Denis, the pain of losing a loved one it hurts us, and that's it. Based on that, let me ask to Dr. Nadja. Hi, my dear. The quick question here is, we saw the death, we saw how we needed to be in front of losing loved ones, how the Spiritist beliefs calm us down or get our pain more digestible, let's say like this.
Yeah, hello everybody. Thank you for the question. Labas, Mary, Ilona, she said, the beginning before we even started, Labas. Hello. So, well, the Spiritism has the Spiritist teaching has the following principles. We know that there is God, the existence of God, so the supreme force, the supreme being the creator. We know the immortality of the souls of the spirit, so life goes on. The plurality of existence, so reincarnation, plurality of the words, there probably life in other planets, and the communicability of spirits and with the incarnated beings. So as Elden and Charles were saying, and if we have this possibility of communicating with the spirits, the souls of the loved ones, it's comforting, very comforting. But we need to learn how to identify our emotions, our feelings, and are we feeling pain, are we feeling sad? Yeah, because of the loved one who has passed away. Or are we feeling guilty? Because nowadays the families are sitting together, but each one has the phone on their hands and nobody's talking to anyone, or the kids are in their rooms, the father in the office, and the mother in the kitchen, so, or vice versa, and nobody's talking to anyone. There's no contact, so it's only the attention is to something else than to the family, to this family moment. So are you feeling guilty because you didn't have this moment? So that's the time that we have to think and review and identify these emotions, these feelings, and then you can have some ways of easing this pain. We go through so many emotions, and sometimes we cannot understand what's going on, especially when there's so much suffering, when we lose someone, the loved one, someone who were always there with us. Some may deny even the existence of that feeling, try to as Charles and Elsa mentioned, so you do this mental training to not to feel anything, to try to be numb to this moment. Or in this, some people feel that life makes no sense, so why we have to continue, has no meaning. So it's a state of shock sometimes. And because life is not going to be as easy as before, or is not going to be the way it used to be, is different from what they are used to. So changing is difficult. So during the pandemics, we all went through this moment, and at some level, we all went through all this change of emotions. Some people will feel anger because they have lost their jobs, or their businesses are now closed and they have invested everything. That they would maybe blame everything and everyone because of it. So of course, even blaming the virus or blaming the politicians. So because it's difficult to accept the situation. Some will accept, some will understand that this is it's life, as Charles said, life. Everybody dies at some point, but then okay. So I will miss my loved one. I don't have a job now. I have this insecurity of the future. How can I pay my bills? But I will take on a course online on internet. I will start studying again. I will maybe change even my profession, dedicate using this time to do something that I like, that I always liked, to my hobbies, and make it a profession, for example. So all this acceptance is the way of trying to cope with the situation, and understanding that life goes on makes us make this step forward easily. But we will have pain, of course. We will feel that the person is not there physically anymore, but we'll continue. Of course, there are some people who will feel even depressed, so they will be feeling very, very sad. And in this, in the last year, there has been an increase in depression. And the World Health Organization stated that, for example, in America, 5.9% of the population is suffering from depression. In Brazil, 5.8%. So this means 5.8%. This means 11 million people suffering from depression. And in 4.4% of the world population was diagnosed with it. So some studies even showed an increase in the last year in 90% of the depression. So, of course, if a person has low quantities of neurotransmitters, for example, serotonin, when there is this strong sadness, there will be a discharge of a high dose of adrenaline, and it will be circulating in the blood circulation, and there will be necessary to take some medication, take antidepressants, and to normalize this levels of neurotransmitters that are and there is an imbalance of chemicals in the body, in the brain, so there will be necessary to take medications to help this person, because the person won't get help on their own. Of course, if there is no imbalance, probably the medication won't help. In any case, trying to find a psychotherapist, trying to find help, like Elsa said, trying to get in contact with other people, other family members, try to speak out, right? Because it's sometimes very sad situation. A person will feel lonely, but they need to know that there are means, there are ways of getting help, free help. You don't have to pay for some consultations. Even here in Lithuania, we have for those who have tried to commit suicide, for the family of those who have tried to commit suicide, or for the family for those who have committed suicide, they will have psychotherapy for free for a certain period of time. So there is help out there online, and there's always a way of finding them. But we spiritists and spiritualists that believed in life after death and reincarnation, no? So we will also feel sad, like Charles was sad when his mom died, Elsa, because she missed her dear husband. We know that it's not a goodbye. We say it, see you soon or see you later, because we will meet someday at some point, depending on the vibration of the mental vibration, the energy, that's because we are spirits and the spirit is energy. So our body is dying every day. So our cells are dying, changing, mutating every day. So of course the body will disintegrate, will die, but the spirit goes on, no? So lives on. So if you have in your good vibration, so send love to those who have passed away, because they will be there in the spiritual plane, also missing us here. They will be there, feeling sometimes alone, feeling sad. So it's important for us to send these prayers, the mental vibration, visualization, good thoughts of love to those who have passed away, so they can receive this love back, and they will feel also comfort knowing that they are being loved here, no? And they will have the help of the mentors to guide them to this transition phase. And I remember a book called Violets on the Window by Vera Lúcia Marinzec de Carvalho. It talks about a girl who discarnated 19 years of age. It's a very nice book because it describes all this passage from the spiritual, from the material world, our world, to the physical, to the spiritual, the physical world to the spiritual world. But the most important message is the moral support that she received from her father. And they were a spiritist family, and then they could, they could help her in this phase of transition. So for those who haven't read this book, Violets on the Window, I recommend. It's a very nice, and showed how she could get comfort and receiving this moral support from her father in thoughts and prayers. And I was listening to Divaldo Franco in one of his lives, and old one, and he was talking about a story about Buddha. Buddha asked his students, what's the opposite of death? And they replied, life. He said, no, it's rebirth, because life is permanent. So death of the body is inevitable. We all die, but the spirit continues, and it's energy. And that's the spirit's teachings offer us this belief that is based in rationality. It's based on research, facts, so proves the facts using research. And studying spiritists helps us to understand our sufferings, why do we suffer, and also helps us to how to ease a little bit this the suffering. It teaches us that love, charity, volunteering, praying will give us some comfort, will give us a good feeling, and it would be also an effect in the other person who is receiving all this love from us. So I will finish with some quotes from Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. She was a psychiatrist, a Swiss-American psychiatrist, pioneering the near-death experiences studies, and she also developed the theory of the 5 stages of grief. She worked a lot with death and the dying. And she says that adversity only makes you stronger. Everyone goes through hardship in life. At those moments, you can either hold on to negativity and look for blame, or you can choose to heal and keep on loving. So that's it. Keep on loving.
Keep on loving. That's it. And to keep going here in our discussion today, I will show a video. It was, I don't know who produced the video, so apologies for that, but all the credits for that person. But I think it's important, and we have a lot of shares of these videos on Facebook, on Instagram. So let me put the video here.
Do not stand at my grave and weep. Possibly by Mary Elizabeth Fry. Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glints on snow. I am the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the morning's hush, I am the swift uplifting rush of quiet birds in circle flight. I am the soft stars that shine at night. Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there. I did not die.
Wow, strong message, isn't it? It's a strong message. My dear Elsa, how to comfort our hearts in face of a loss, in order to avoid us to stand in a grave and cry and weep, instead of let us to kill ourselves in order to avoid us to lose the meaning of life.
As the last phrase said, don't cry on my grave because I'm not there. I didn't die. Yes, the spirit is still living. Whatever happens, living and go further. And in our turn, in order not to suffer, because we have to respect the time, that the bereavement time. For everyone is different, how long you will take. We need to cry sometimes. It's okay to do that. But when this comes too much, it's hurting ourselves. We have to wake up and do our best with the strength to stand up and say, yes, this happened. The divinity has an agenda that is perfect. So everything that is happening is okay. And go try to help a charity. Don't stay alone. Don't stay crying day and night, because your beloved one is still living, and he or she is seeing your tears and your sadness. This may affect them. If they are evolved already, they will come and comfort you. But if they are not aware what's going on, they are aware that they did not die, this can affect them. So the best thing to do, send our good vibrations, our good thoughts, and thank you so much for the time that we spent together. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for the lessons that you gave to me. So regards everything that is going on, or went back and say thank you for everything. It's the best thing to do. And go forward. Try to help a charity to elderly people in nursing homes or orphanages, or a charity that work with homeless. Because when you see the pain of others, your pain diminishes. That this is a charity. There's a good energy that comes towards you and help you. And we must be sure that the spiritual guides, benefactors are surrounding us, supporting us all the time. We do not reject them. They are still living beings. We are first spirit, and after we are physical bodies that come and go our spirit. In each incarnation, we evolve a little bit, but we have everything in our hands. As I said before, when my husband died, my 3 children prepared everything 1 week in advance, because the doctor advised us he's going. They prepare everything. My daughter prepared all the videotapes with music for all the nights that we are in. I don't know how to say in English. When someone die, you can stay in the chapel and talking all night in Brazil, no? Velório.
Funeral. Funeral.
Funeral, but during the night, because here funeral, I kept going in, that's it. So my daughter, my children prepare everything. So this helped them to understand that the father is still alive, is a living being. So everything went smoothly according planned before. So we suffer, of course, we suffer a lot, but in a different way. We have the strength to be together and help even other people, as we have this experience in our family. So, my dear friends, the times of pandemic, don't stay alone. Don't cry too much. Try to help yourself. Try to help others. Try to listen others. Try to go and help someone that is more needed than you, than me, than us. And we will find the consolation in the charity to help others, for sure. I am sure that. I'm saying for sure. And also, Spiritist Centers offers fraternal attendance, or fraternal talk, or fraternal dialogue about spirituality, about your beloved ones that departed. So you can looking for the Spiritist Center. In all countries in the world has Spiritist centers. They can talk to you and explain to you. We have classes for free to talk about that. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear. So, anything to add, Charles, Nadja?
Yes, I would really stress that, again, the key in all this is to become aware about these natural laws which are governing the spiritual world, because the spiritual world is definitively existing. There are so many evidences about this. So as soon as we open a little bit your eyes, as soon as we listen a little bit, look about all these huge phenomenologies is spreading and repeating, and now since more than 150 years, it's getting more and more an evidence, albeit it's unfortunately still being put in question or rejected by some people, in particular some intellectuals, and which because we can understand that it is a huge change, but again, pandemics like this one are awakening the conscience of a lot of people who are really trying to understand better. And this is why we are communicating stronger right now, in order to first to help, that's our main goal, and second, to bring all these elements, as it has been very well illustrated by thank you, Elsa, Stevan, and Nadja, which is huge resources for giving us a strength for coping that we would never suspect before. So it's really something which makes good. Again, we have personally lived it ourselves, some of us, and really, I mean, life goes on. We are still here, spreading the message, inspired maybe by the beloved one who has passed away, in order to transmit this message of hope. Yes, life continues after the death. That's absolutely sure. It's not a question of belief anymore. Now so many facts and evidences that it's a question of reasoned or rational faith, and not a question of dogmatic faith anymore. And we really understand this because we believe in it, because we understood and we have seen all the phenomenology which is linked to it. So thanks a lot again for your attention, and hoping all the best. Also, this COVID stimulating as well the researchers, so vaccine and whatever. So it seems to be improving a little bit now. Let's hope that really mankind will again win this battle and come out of this trial before the next trial, because there will be other episodes of similar nature, much probably in the future.
Thanks, Charles. Nadja?
Yeah, I would like to say just to keep on loving, love everybody around you and your family. Spend some time with your family. Spend some time telling them that you love them, your friends, and when you have a dream with someone that has already passed away, or you if you can smell the perfume, the typical smell of that person, or the taste of the food, or remember something, and always send that love. Say like Elsa, thank you very much for all the time that we spent together. I'm sorry if I made something that you didn't like, but I love you, and we are always learning and growing and evolving as a spirit, as a person. So I think the way for the new life. So you can change. You start now. You can start at this moment that we're talking now, and say to the person next to you that I love you, and thank you for being here with me. So, or send a text message, just remembering them, so that you care. So this is all love as well. That's the way for a new life. That's love.
Thank you, my dear. Deb just give the announcements. I'd like to finish our conversation today with a poem. But before we go to this poem, let me give you some. Well, that is a question here. Okay, Nadja, our friend from Sweden, Trolia, she's asking the name of the book, the author of the book. If you could type in the comments box, please. Okay. Okay, so Okay, let me put it here. Let's go to the announcement first, then we go to the poem.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Steven. Then you can put after I put on the chat, on the private chat, the name of the books. It's Violets on the Window. Yeah.
Okay.
And Vera Lúcia Marinzec de Carvalho. So if Steven can type it, please.
Yeah, it's already there.
Violets on the Window. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so this Saturday, 4 p.m. UK time, we will have a wonderful talk from second part from our dear friend Munir Gariba, and it is part of the series of Leon Denis. We are celebrating his 175th birth, and Munir will talk about the book. He'll comment the book, The Problem of Life and Destiny. So don't miss it. You will have it on Buzz, YouTube and Facebook, Artist Greetings Federation, Kardec Radio, and Kardec Group. So join us and don't miss this wonderful talk Munir will give to us this Saturday at 4 p.m. London time. Also, this book, My First Dad, from our dear Elsa. Do you want to say something, my dear friend?
Yes. This is a special book for families that has some losses in, so they can read this book with the children, especially children that lost father, mother, or even pets. So it's the way that to talk about losses with the children. And a lot of adults are reading this book, reply or leave a comment in our chat saying if they have this book when they lost their father or mother, they should be in a different way. So I recommend will be on Amazon in 1 week time, ebook. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you, dear Elsa. The topic for next week is loneliness in times of pandemic. So stay tuned. Next Wednesday, we will talk about loneliness in times of pandemic. So that's it from the announcements. And I'd like to finish today with a poem from St. Augustine. Then the title of the poem is If You Love Me, Don't Cry. If you love me, don't cry. Don't cry if you love me. If you know God's grace and what heaven is like. If you were able to listen to the angel songs and you see me among them. If you were able to think for a while about the beauty that no other beauty can match. Wipe your tears and don't cry. If you love me, that is nothing. It is just having moved to the other side. I'm still what I am, and you are still what you are. What we used to be for each other is still the same. Call me by the name you used to, and talk to me as you have done before. Do not use a different tone. Do not be rigid or sad. Continue to laugh about what used to make us laugh. Pray for me. Smile. Think of me and pray with me. Let my name be mentioned as at home as before. Without any exaggeration or distress, life continues to mean what it always did. And it is still the same. The thread did not break. Do you feel I have become outside of your thoughts? Because I am far from your sight? No, I am not far from you. I'm just on the other side of the road, and everything is fine. You will find my heart and my love pure. Wipe your tears and do not cry if you love me. Thank you, my friends. It was a pleasure to have you here. It was a pleasure to have our friends from Sweden, from Portugal, from Canada, from Brazil, from Germany, from London, from Ireland, from Lithuania, from France. Thank you. I hope today's comments will make your heart a little bit more comfortable if you lost a loved one. Merci, Charles. Thank you, Elsa.
Labayati.
Merci.
Até mais.
Okay.
See you
Thank you.
later.
À bientôt.
See you soon. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.